All right, so Trump recently announced his new um, running, his new presidential candidacy slogan or whatever he's running on. Really, he's because now that he's had his rallies, it's time for him to spread his message. What will get you? What? Why should we vote for you, Donald? Tell us, please. And the answer is evil Democrats. And a lot of them are pretty evil. I'm not gonna lie. Um, a lot of them are really evil. But it's the same thing. Back in 2016, you had this whole mentality of, oh, you've got Hillary who's corrupt and not a very good person, and then you've got Donald who's just not a very good human being. And then so all the Democrat and all these MSNBCs, all these CNNs go, oh, but you have to vote blue because Donald is evil, right? Donald will destroy our nation, the integrity of our nation. But then obviously that doesn't work because you don't win by fear mongering. You don't win by saying, oh, because the opponent's bad. I mean, that actually is a lot of times how you win, but it didn't work last time, and it won't work this time again. And so all Trump is doing these days is just, instead of running on China, instead of running on, because China is a real problem, I think, and I think you could get a lot of support from being harsh against China, not only for the virus but also for the way they treated the Uyghurs, and just trade in general. I think you get a lot of support for it, but instead he just chooses to go into this whole culture war thing. Screw the Dems, they're evil. They want to destroy our heritage. Wah, wah, wah. Stop being a whiny bitch and do something. Like, just give us, like, what are you going to do, huh? Are you going to do the other 2,900 miles of wall? Well, at this rate, you're going to do 400 miles by the end of your presidency. And, like, I don't know, man. It doesn't really look like that's a good job done, if I'm being honest. So, yeah, man. Trump, I just think, first of all, this whole Keep America Great is just a bad slogan. Because then what are you voting for, really? You're saying, oh, I've already made it great, so, I mean, isn't it time to move on then? Like, why should they really vote for you? And there's no actual policy coming out. It's all just the same whiny, it's just stupid stuff of like, oh, we built a wall, 200 miles of it, and then everybody goes wild, wow, wow, wow. Nobody really gives a shit because, listen, 200 miles of wall isn't going to stop anybody. You've got 2,900 miles without wall. Oh no, but now no, the immigrants cannot go in. They can't go past anymore. The whole 200 miles is literally blocked off. And yeah, man. And I think it's sad, because fucking Biden. What even is Biden? He's an old man in cognitive decline. And so is Trump probably. But this guy can't even say two sentences without having a glitch. Like, this guy's he's a walking glitch, fam. All this guy does. He talks for 2 seconds. He'll go like, oh, we need a big. Like he literally cannot muster 5 sentences together without glitching. Like, he'll physically glitch, and somehow he's winning in all the polls. And that's just the sad. This is it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. It's kind of a sad image of American politics. The fact that the last 2 elections you've had Hillary and Trump, and now you have Biden and Trump. It's like, what the fuck is happening? And Joe Biden's actually winning. Now, I'm no lover of Trump, as you could probably, understand by now. But how the fuck is Biden even in this race? Like, we get it, oh, Obama, I was the vice president, but what did you do? What is this guy actually, I literally don't know what this guy wants to do. He doesn't support Medicare for all. He doesn't really care about justice reform, even though he talks about it. It's just the same, just the usual Democratic stuff, You talk about, you put some nice symbolism, you get a black vice president. Wah, wah, wah. Who gives a shit if she's black or white or whatever the fuck she is, right? Doesn't change anything, If you really want things to change, you don't put people colored people with darker skinned people in positions of power that actually just want to keep the status quo because that won't change anything. And then what you're really doing is just having a little power, a symbol thing. The same thing happened with like the after George Floyd when all when Nancy Pelosi and her gang wear the kete cloths act like, oh, we're with the black people, we're gonna, and then 2 weeks later when it's time to actually do something about it, they literally do nothing, pretty much nothing. All their literally it's just annoying, man. All this like symbolic gestures that lead up to nothing in practice, and that everybody falls for it as well. It's kind of sad. Probably just because MSNBCs and the CNNs and the mainstream all just cover up for Biden. They're probably part of his campaign. They should be counted as part of his campaign, man. Like all they do is just defend this guy. He says, if you don't vote for me, you're not black, and then I didn't see any coverage on that. Pretty much nothing. But when Trump says anything, wow, it's the end of the world, we're all gonna die. Just these double standards. But moral of the story is, it's sad. It's just really sad that you have such two like abysmal candidates. One of them is running on nothing, running on a culture war, running on evil Dems. The other one's running on, I don't know, I was vice president of Obama, was black, I guess. I'm gonna get a black VP. Alright, well done, kid. You're gonna win, but I don't know, man. It's just really sad. Anyway, let me know what you guys think.